What's going on, internet? I am the Masked Man. Um, how are you doing? I got a question from a viewer. Um, now I'm gonna read the email, and the viewer asked that I didn't leave their name. I'm even gonna read that part. Leave the name of their channel. So I will not leave the name of their channel. It's not in. I just downloaded the text, so even if I was just reading everything that I had in front of me, there's no name to read. But I'm just saying it just so I make sure to not say it by accident. Um, well, here's the question. You can see it in the title of the video. Hello, Mr. Masked Man. I don't know if you grew up reading comic books or manga, or if you're a fan of shows or movies with superheroes, but I thought I'd ask anyway. This is a two-part question. Part one: do you believe or do you consider to be a super? Oh shit! I'm tired, y'all. I'm sorry. Who do you believe or do you consider to be a superhero to black children today, particularly boys? Would it be a fictional character or real life person, i.e., an athlete, civil rights leader, entertainer, etc.? Um, if you were to create a black superhero, what would he be like? Would you derive him from a current day superheroes, Marvel anime? Would you make a black version of a current superhero? Would you start from scratch? What would he be doing? Would it just be about fighting racism? Or would you create fictional plots and conflicts? Thanks. Please don't mention my channel, but I thought this may be a fun topic. Um, again, hello. Again, if you prefer, you can just speak on a cartoon series, or film for kids with black main characters. It doesn't have to be a superhero in a superhero fashion, but do whatever suits you. Also, I don't know how much anime you watch, but the Gundam series, Gundam Wing, Mobile Suit Gundam are included as a form of end quote superheroes in my opinion, even though they rely on transformer robotic suits and technology instead of superpowers. So I just wanted to add those two things to the mix. Thanks. All right. Well, okay, now I'm doing this in the car and I'm doing this on the fly, so I kind of have to even though I spitball all these videos, and I very rarely if ever write anything down to produce them. It's kind of, you know, a change of pace to do something that's this complex, you know, in the car outside of the library. It just is a little different. Um, to answer your some of your questions, I was never a reader of comic books because I didn't have the ability to go to a comic book store. Um, I never knew how to find comic books online. It's not as if I was not open to reading comic books. It's just I didn't have the ability to go out and purchase them and read them. And from what I'm aware of today about comics, and what would have drove me crazy as a kid who had to beg to get certain movies, is that comic books, they have alternate timelines, they have alternate stories, they have it's just a constant remixing of the story. It's many different volumes, many different universes, many different things are canon. There's not one cohesive beginning, middle, and end to anything. It's like you can do whatever you want, then you can throw it away and start from scratch. I think that's cool, but that's a lot to take in. That's a lot to follow for somebody with very meager budget. That's a lot for me to follow today. But as far as the cartoons that came from the comics, I am familiar with Batman, Superman, the Justice League, Green Lantern, Static Shock. Basically any cartoon that came on television, I pretty much am at least somewhat vaguely familiar with it. Gundam Wing. Gundam Wing was never one of the animes that I watched. I never watched Gundam Wing. I can't give you an explanation why I didn't watch it. I just it just wasn't something that drew me in. I watched something similar to Gundam Wing, but I can't recall the name of it right now. But I appreciate you sending me this question, but I'll say it. I'll say it, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it again. Um, I am not a creative. That's. I mean, like, even if I reach reach my full potential, doing something that's this speculative, like creating a black superhero or having a black superhero, that would be a bit challenging for me, because you kind of have to pull things out of thin air, or you just have to have an artistic creative mindset where you can build worlds, and that's not really my strong suit. But I will try to answer the question in the best way that I can. Who do you believe to or consider to be a superhero to black children today, particularly boys? Um, Honestly, I, I couldn't really give you a clear answer, because I'm not actually around a lot of people very often. I'm not around enough real life people to know what young boys, who they're looking up to. So I can't say, and I don't want to just say something um just to give you an answer. I would have to get around people. I would have to circulate more. I would have to learn what's going on to be able to know who they're looking up to. But whoever they are looking up to, it's not really making much of a difference. It's not really making much of a difference. People aren't being motivated to do great things at a young age. Um, I was thinking about doing this video, and I think I will email the person back, um, the person who asked me to make this video. I will email them back and let them know about an idea that I had for a video, because I think that young people are constantly told that they need to wait until they get older to do great things, that they need to wait until they're older, or their intelligence is undermined, because of their youth. Because they're young, they're told that they will understand later. But it is completely within their power to have the conversation in the moment and to teach the lesson now. But they would just say this cliche shit about, when you're older you'll understand what I mean, and all they said was a cliche. So I can't answer like who black children are looking up to today. I don't have a good answer for you, so I don't want to give you some bullshit. Bullshitting is not what I do. But I will. But what I can say is I will try to find out. I will try to find out who they're looking up to. Let me know who you think they're looking up to. You can do it in the email. You can do it in the comments. And anybody who's watching the video, help me answer the question: who are young black boys looking up to today? Like, who are some of the black people that they're looking up to? I could give you mine, but you didn't ask me who I was looking up to. If you were to create a black superhero, what would he be like? Um, well, I've thought about this somewhat, and I'm not a creative person, but I was thinking that if I was to create a black superhero, then the black superhero would have to violate all of the norms that are commonly associated with comic books. You said would he just be about fighting racism? I'm gonna jump up and down. Would he just be about fighting racism? No, he wouldn't just be about fighting racism. No, he would not be. But he would fight racism. And that would be like the overarching goal. Like, I would want a black superhero to probably either be born in Africa. Like, I wouldn't just want one, but possibly be born in America, um, come from a stable family, um, that educated him, about his roots, educated him about, Africa, educated him about life, trained him to be a scientist, a brilliant genius mind, and told him about all of the problems that were going on in society, all of the problems that were going on in the world. And through what they taught him and cultivating his genius and giving him a sense of what's right and wrong in society, that black superhero just uses his brilliant mind to elevate himself to a stronger, more powerful, more capable human being. Like, he augments his humanity. Like, he gives himself super strength, certain superpowers, but it's based in science. Like, they think it, like whoever would write it would think it through like a Mythbusters. Like, how would this work in real life? And he's not just superpowered through an accident. He's superpowered because he's a genius and he's giving himself superpowers. It's not a machine. He's playing with his body, and he's unlocking the latent human potential. Also, he doesn't come from a broken home. He's not a result of tragedy. He had a good life. He had good parents. He was taught well. And because he had that background, he's not motivated out of desperation. He's going out to do right because it's the right thing to do. He's not fighting supervillains. He's fighting real problems with real solution, corruption at every level. Corruption that affects blacks specifically, primarily, more than anyone else, and problems that affect the larger global world. And you can have, your super villains, you can have your mustache twirling, you know, characters, but everything should be very realistically based. I don't think you get far trying to make the black version of a white superhero, or you're trying to bite them. I think ideas are fluid and ideas can be shared, but as far as, if you want it to be good, then you just have to go as far away from the way that things are being done and just really be super creative. You don't use cliches. You don't pander. If the black superhero is gay, I that would be, that would not be something, that would be a version of pandering to me. Somebody, the Lee Daniels of comic books. So I just want it to be what a black person would do, what a an intelligent, proud black person, what they would produce, to not be to not be just biting off of somebody else's style. Um, Now that was just my idea. I don't know how good or bad that was, but I just think that whatever black superhero you have, it it should just really be based on breaking, stereotypes. And not just stereotypes among black people, but stereotypes in comics and how people rise up to do great things. You don't have to come from tragedy. You don't have to have a horrible life or have had a traumatic experience to rise up and fight for the weak. You can do that because the weak need a champion. And that can be what the black superhero is, like the champion of the weak. And his parents can be alive and live throughout all of his adventures. They are always there as a source of, support or guidance or wisdom. When the genius can't figure something out, they're not dummies. They didn't just cultivate a genius. They're smart in their own right. They can act as counsel. So that he just has a strong family. He just comes from a strong family. And that's something that I don't think has ever really been shown in comics, that there's just a guy that really has it together, that's really doing things from a good place. And that's it. And that's coming from the guy who is amoral. As far as current animes, you know, this video is running kind of long, but as far as animes goes, what I would like to see, if you've ever heard of this anime before, I would like to see the black version of One Piece. If I could see it. Like, One Piece is my favorite anime of all time. You know, depending on how it ends, basically. If they can stick the landing for One Piece, is already one of the longest running animes of all time. People are scared that, the guy who writes it is gonna die before he finishes the shit, because he has poor health. But One Piece is my favorite anime so far. Yu Yu Hakusho is number 2. But One Piece can really be good. I mean, like, if there was some black people, because you got a group of anti-heroes that are fighting against a corrupt world government, and they're pirates, they're thieves, but every level of the government is corrupt. But at the same time, the corrupt government keeps a balance and keeps an order and has good people sprinkled throughout, and they're not just focused on oppressing the people. So it's a complex story. Even though One Piece is basically a kid show, it's still a complex story with complex themes, and there's not a clearly defined good and evil, right and wrong. I would like to see, like, a band of black pirates that are superheroes with unusual powers, something along those lines. Maybe a gang, but they're anti-heroes, not like Sons of Anarchy, because they were evil as fuck. But I mean, like, a group of anti-heroes. Um, and I'm about to. I'll say I was about to close. I just saw the Louis Farrakhan and Alex Jones interview. I may do a video about that. He kept saying he was about to close during a conversation. Hilarious. Cartoons. Cartoons. I think all of these that I've said kind of work as a cartoon. I think that you were asking what would work as a comic. I think they will work as either. If they don't go the Boondocks route and just focus so much energy and time on having great animation, they can produce, these shows rather quickly. Anything I've said will work as a cartoon, or as a comic, and I honestly think there is like a black kid superhero thing that I saw on like the Rise and Grind channel. I have to look it up and see what it was. I actually think he deleted that shit. I don't know, but um, the Transformers robotic, the Gundam suit. You could like reboot the Power Rangers. Basically, you could, and that would be dope if like you made a good Power Rangers, because a lot of people today say that Power Rangers suck. The Power Rangers was a show that I actually liked as a kid. I didn't stop watching it till they killed Zordon. And that was like 5 to 6 seasons after the only season that anybody even kinda likes, and that's Mighty Morphin. So I fucks with Power Rangers. So Gundam doesn't. I never saw Gundam, but it could be something like Power Rangers if you want it to be like silly and live action. You could do something like Captain Planet. You can bring that back. That's another show I liked that they shit on. You could bring that back. You can make it good. It's not something that has to beat people over the head. It's not something that has to be you know corny. But I apologize for this video, for the way that been speaking, for the way that I've been rambling. I apologize if anybody other than the commenter is watching this. I did not mean to put you through so much suffering. This is not my strong suit, and this is like just a big area where I'm not very good at. But you throw these questions at me, and I give them a shot. I do the best I can. Sometimes I'm gonna hit, sometimes I'm gonna miss. But if I take enough swings and if I practice enough, maybe I'll get good at it. Let me know what you think about this video. Help out the person who commented to me. Answer. I read you the comments, but answer the questions for the person. I honestly don't know if it's a male or a female. I really don't. Um, who is a black hero? What would a black superhero be like? What would he look like? Where would you get the inspiration? What would he be doing? Would you start from scratch? Would he be fighting racism? Or would you create fictional plots? And how would you incorporate the black superhero into cartoons? So let me know what you think about those questions if you made it to the end of this video. And if you want me to cover something when I'm a little bit less tired, then you can send me an email at themrmassman@gmail.com. Leave me comments, rate the video, like it, dislike it. Be honest. I can imagine that you would dislike this one. I do apologize. Subscribe to my channel if you want to keep up with the videos that I'm making. You can follow me on Twitter and find me on Facebook at the Mr. Mass Man. That is all I have to say about this subject. So I will see you in the next video.